for stopping by. So for today, I want to talk about the inevitable. How to resolve conflicts in relationships. So you agree with me that there is no way you can be with somebody that there will be no friction. Even sisters, people from the same home, people from the same background must have conflicts. How much more you, a couple from different backgrounds, from different homes, different upbringings, coming together. There's bound to be conflicts, there's bound to be friction. But how we resolve these conflicts, how we resolve this friction is very important as to how healthy the relationship will be. Some people don't know how to resolve conflict in relationships, so a little thing generates into something very big because they were not able to handle the issue at that particular time. So today I'm going to teach you how to resolve conflict or how to handle it better, be it relationship or marriage. So how do we handle conflict in relationship? For number one, ensure that you get to the root of the problem. So a lot of people kind of deflect instead of trashing out the issue at that particular time. They just handle it lightly, or they just cover it up with something else, which is not the best. If you have a problem with your partner, that particular time that thing happened, make sure you trash it out. Go to the root of the problem and analyze it. Both of you should come together and make sure you trash out that problem. Why is this very important? Because in future, if you don't tackle the root of your problem, of your misunderstanding, it is going to come up. I've heard couples that because of something as simple as maybe not washing the dishes, that is the problem at that particular time. Probably the wife or the husband is not happy that somebody has not washed the dishes, and then instead of talking about the dishes, they'll start talking about things that happened. That is how I told you that the other time. Why are you referring to that particular time? It's because you've not been able to forgive your partner, or you've not been able to tackle that. You were not able to tackle that particular problem. That is why it is arising for something very, very little. So ensure that that particular time this problem is happening, you tackle it and make sure it does not arise again in future. Tackle it and ensure that both parties forgive each other. Whoever was wrong should apologize, and then trash that problem at that particular time. So you must get to the root of the problem and tackle it. Secondly, communication. Communication is very, very key to conflict resolution in relationships. And communication doesn't just mean speaking your mind. It also means listening to what your partner has to say. So, communication is speaking and also being attentive, also listening. It's a two-way thing. It's not a one-way thing. And that is where people always have it wrong. You just want to voice out your own. You just want to talk without listening to what your partner has to say. So you must listen attentively to what your partner has to say and also voice out your own concerns. Don't respond with anger. I know a lot of couples that whenever they want to respond, their tone is very aggressive. What I mean by tone is the power or the force in which you use in saying what you want to say. Okay, let me give an example. You want to tell somebody to come and eat. So let me just give an example. Please come and eat. And then come and eat. Which one do you think is better when you're trying to communicate come and eat? Do you get what I'm saying? So communication is very, very vital, the tone in which you communicate. Another thing is raising voices. Each time there is a conflict in the home, especially in our country here in Nigeria, if you're in a neighborhood, sometimes you hear couples fighting, and you in your house, you're hearing what they are saying. So everybody is shouting on top of each other's voice. Everybody wants to make a point. And because you're trying to make a point, you try to shout so that your partner hears you. And your partner is also trying to make a point and is also shouting. And before you know it, you guys are shouting on top of each other's voice. Everywhere is, commotion because you're trying to express your anger. That is not the right way to resolve conflict. So don't communicate in anger. Don't raise your tone. Don't raise your voice when you're trying to communicate. Turn conflict an opportunity to learn about more about your partner. Conflict arises when an action is not acceptable. So both it could be from one person or it could be from both parties, but there is no agreement, so there's conflict. Anyway, so when there is conflict like that, it's always best to learn what your partner likes at that particular time. A lot of you people will say your partner is always nagging. Have you taken time to listen to what she or he is saying, to understand what he likes and what he does not like? Because it's very painful when you're constantly doing something that is hurting another person, and when this person is trying to communicate, you call it nagging, and you continue doing it. So turn conflict to an opportunity to learn what your partner likes and what your partner does not like. So another point is practice acceptance. You need to understand that nobody is perfect. Even you are not perfect. So yeah, there will be room for compromise, but you need to know that there are some things your partner might do that you will not like. Some craziness. And believe me, when both of you are apart, it's not only the good part of your partner that you will miss. Trust me, you will miss the craziness, the bad side too. So please just try and accept that your partner is not a perfect person. That way you'll be able to just make up your mind that you will love him or her despite of his or her imperfections. That is what love is even about. It's not just the good that you love. You have to love the whole package, both the good and the bad. So you need to practice acceptance. Be aware of your negative patterns. Just like I said, your partner is not perfect. You too are not perfect. You need to understand this. A lot of you have negative qualities, keeping malice, so many things. That's why I said use conflict as a way to learn from your partner, because sometimes you might be doing something without knowing that you're wrong, and when your partner is trying to point out, you don't even want to listen. So sometimes try and have a kind of reflection. Sit down and analyze your action. Try to point out your negative traits, those things you did that might affect the relationship negatively, or at that particular point, the cause of the conflict. Try and see the part you played, for that conflict to happen. Something else I want to talk about is working on forgiveness. You need to learn to forgive. In fact, you're going to forgive a lot of times when you're in a relationship or marriage, because conflict will always arise, and most times or sometimes it will not be your fault. So work on forgiveness, and another important thing I want to really say is, if you are the one at fault and your partner is here to forgive you, you don't need to judge. Just give him space to take his time and analyze your situation and forgive you. Forgiveness is a gradual process. I don't know how you do it. You just say, oh, I've forgiven you, and that is it. Some people are not like that. Some people take time to forgive. So if you are with somebody like that, give that person space. Let the person forgive you and come back. And you too, practice forgiveness. When your partner wrongs you, you don't need to put everything in your heart, and carry that whole bitterness and walk about. It's very, very heavy. So instead of you to do that, forgive. Try and forgive your partner. It might take time, but try and forgive your partner. Lastly, what I want to talk about now is make time for touch, physical contact. And when I say touch, I'm not referring to sex at this point. I'm talking about holding hands, giving hugs, giving a peg, or when you're watching the screen and a movie, you just cuddle, things like that. The fact that you're quarreling, the fact that there is conflict between both of you doesn't mean. In fact, when you give too much space during conflict, it could cause the conflict to linger more than necessary. So when you're even driving, you can just or hold your partner's hand, something like that. Because when you touch someone you love, it releases an hormone called oxytocin. Doctors call it the feel-good hormone. This hormone will make you more connected to your partner. Trust me, it's basic biology. So make time for touch. It will even soften your heart, whatever it was. Make time for touch, and that way I know when you're angry, you don't want to even entertain that kind of thoughts. But trust me on this, it's very, very important. It will help you to forgive each other faster. And before I conclude, let there be room for compromise. You cannot be right all the time, and your partner cannot be right all the time. So sometimes both of you will have to meet in the middle ground. So thank you guys for staying with me. I hope I was able to help. Please don't forget to put a comment in the comment section. Give my video a thumbs up and share with your friends. Also, please try and subscribe even as you're listening to this video right now. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.